When you hear the term first responders, you might picture firefighters tackling a house fire or police pulling up to a crime or car accident. But the real first responders are the men and women of public safety telecommunications, often referred to as dispatchers. They are the ones that offer that calm and helpful voice on the other end of the line when anyone calls for help. We are just coming off a week across the nation of honoring these workers, so we thought we'd pay homage to the ones here in Las Vegas by delivering to you a very important message. Whenever there is any type of fire, police, or medical emergency, we know our first responders are going to get there and get there quickly. But they don't just roll out on these incidents on their own. They respond after calls for help come into this call center, staffed by the emergency communication specialists.
Our comm specialists and everyone in our dispatch center is crucial to the overall package of emergency response. They are the first responders.
Our call center is located at Las Vegas Fire and Rescue Station 1, one of the busiest fire stations in the country. It receives more than 300,000 calls a year, and it is the dispatch center not only for Las Vegas, but North Las Vegas and Clark County, including some of the more remote areas like Mount Charleston and Moapa. So it might surprise you to hear that as busy as they are with real emergencies, it is not unusual for them to get calls that, frankly, don't even resemble an urgency.
I will tell you, it actually happens. The drive-through wrong order has absolutely happened. I'm locked out of my house. I'm not talking about locked out of my house. You have an infant on the other side of the door. I'm talking about I lost my keys. Or, there's any number of incidents that the reasonable person would not conclude is reason to call 911. That they do. So we definitely want people to use 311.
311 was established to handle something that might be important or suspicious, but does not qualify as an emergency. According to Fire Chief Jeff Buchanan, here is the rule of thumb for picking up the phone and calling 911.
Only call 911 if it's absolutely dangerous, life-threatening, someone is significantly hurt or significantly ill.
For anything else, 311 is your better choice. This is not simply because those answering the calls don't want to be bothered with your lost keys. It is to prevent lost lives.
The longer it takes for a response to arrive, for a medical call per se, contributes to brain death and heart death. So if someone's in cardiac respiratory arrest, someone's in stroke, the longer it takes for medical intervention to get there, the greater likelihood of a bad outcome. Same with a fire. The longer it takes for units to get there, 15 seconds, just hold your breath for 15 seconds. It's uncomfortable. The speed of fire moves fast in 15 seconds. So if a caller is taking up one of our dispatchers' time on a call that isn't necessary for even 15 seconds, it means they can't appropriately dispatch for someone else who's certainly waiting in our queue.
Those who answer these calls are unsung heroes who save lives every day behind the scenes. We can help them by making sure our call to them is truly an emergency.
They experience a lot of the same things that police officers and firefighters experience out in the field. Police officers and firefighters actually see it. All of our comm specialists, our dispatchers, are hearing it. We're really proud of them. They're very much a part of the first response and providing the community with the care that they need. They're actually the first stop.
Here are some tips if you need to call 911. First and foremost, try to stay calm. Know your location and the number you're calling from. Wait for the call taker to ask questions and then answer as clearly and calmly as you can. Let the person answering your call guide the conversation and follow any directions they give you. So you might be asking, well, what does warrant a call to 311? So I'll give you an example of a time that I did. I was out walking my dog and came across a house in our neighborhood. The garage door was partially open and there was a lot of glass in the driveway. So I wasn't really witnessing a crime or an accident, but it just didn't feel right. So I called 311 and gave them the address and let them determine whether or not it was urgent. Believe me, if they determine it's an emergency, they will treat it as one.